Hi, I'm Kim Campbell, and my husband Glenn has been living with Alzheimer's. I've met so many other families that are going through the same thing, and we're all on this journey together. So that's been essential for me as a caregiver. In the early stages, Glenn was great about brushing his teeth. The only problem was that he brushed them too long. I was afraid he was going to damage his gums.
Mouth care is something we've done all our lives. I think probably from when you first get your first teeth and your mom shows you how to use a toothbrush. A continuous routine task that we do.
Perfect. All right. And the first thing we'll do is we'll grab our toothbrush. So you can grab your toothbrush from right there.
Mouth care in persons living with dementia gets to be a little more tricky in that either they forget how to do the steps in toothbrushing or they don't want something in their mouth. And so they resist a toothbrush, they don't recognize it, and they don't know why you're trying to put something in their mouth.
So we'd stand there and brush and brush and brush. But it's really funny because every morning when I'd wake up and go into the bathroom, he would make me watch him put toothpaste on his toothbrush. But my main problem was he would walk off with the toothbrush and lose it. And then as time progressed, he forgot what it was for. He might try to brush his hair with the toothbrush. Or he might try to rinse it in the toilet instead of the sink. So I had to keep the toothbrushes locked up and really just supervise, his oral care.
To help a person brush their teeth, you need to give very simple instructions. Here's your toothbrush. Here's the toothpaste. Shall I put the toothpaste on your toothbrush for you? Put their hand around it.
Should I get a new one of these?
A cup?
Later stages of the disease, you might want to stand behind them and help them move their hand and toothbrush with your hand over their hand. And sometimes that'll take over kind of the automatic response because we've been doing it forever.
Can I have one?
We all either brush our teeth before we eat breakfast or after. Some people prefer it first and some people prefer it after. So find out from your parent or grandparent what's their preference. Same with going to bed. Some people like to brush their teeth before they take their nighttime meds. Sometimes they want to do it afterwards, but always after you've had your snack at night. Lots of times people can brush their teeth way into the disease. You just have to maybe put the toothpaste on their toothbrush. Some people early in the disease don't want it, but if people don't have their teeth and have dentures, it's really important to take care of them as well as the person's gum. So every night before bed, you need to take the dentures out, brush them, but never with toothpaste, because toothpaste is too harsh and it'll scratch the dentures, so you just brush them with warm water and then put them in the cup that they come in to keep them wet, because if you leave them to dry out, they'll change shape and won't fit anymore. And you really need to let dentures be out of the mouth for at least 8 hours because they're made out of plastic, and that's just not good for you to sleep in them. And then after the dentures are taken out, it's important to take a wet gauze and run your finger around the gums, top and bottom, front and back, to be sure there's no food particles left in the mouth overnight. And adult children often don't think about it because they don't have dentures. When people are at this stage where they want to bite down on whatever it's putting in their mouth, you probably don't want to help them floss anymore, and they may not have the dexterity to do that. So there's some things you can use that you can get at the drugstore, and you can just go between the spaces in the teeth, and that's much less likely that you're going to be bitten. The other thing you can do is, if the person has started biting, is to take one toothbrush to kind of keep the mouth open while you use the other toothbrush to brush the teeth, because it keeps it just enough. Or you can have people sing. If they're singing, their mouth is open and you can brush their teeth that way. I think the biggest mistake we make in mouth care and in almost all kinds of personal care is trying to guilt people into doing something. If you don't brush your teeth, you're going to have bad breath and nobody will want to be around you. Not the way to approach it. If you don't take a shower, you're going to smell bad and nobody will want to be around you. We should never approach things from a negative way, and we never should try to rationalize things as well. So brushing our teeth is our health care. And so for us to be healthy, that's part of what we need to do. Come at it from a positive way. Let me share with you an encouraging thought. If a person is resistant, clenches their teeth, don't fight them.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
You might try a couple of different techniques to see if they will respond in a different way. One is to just take the toothbrush and put the toothpaste on, and automatically people may start brushing the teeth. We've seen that. Sometimes if you rub their cheek, it relaxes them, and they'll open their mouth, and you give them the toothbrush and they'll brush their teeth. Singing, as I mentioned before, is another thing. You can start singing, and if they start singing, you can give them the toothbrush. So there's no reason to get upset with somebody because they don't want to brush their teeth. You can try it again later. You can try these techniques. There's just lots of tools in your toolkit.
I can't imagine life without you. When I can't breathe, you breathe for me.
One last tip, that is use soft, bristled toothbrushes. It's important because the gums get more sensitive the longer we live, just like all our tissues. And so we need to use the softest toothbrushes we can find. Even a child's toothbrush might be as appropriate as an adult's, particularly if you're helping somebody brush their teeth, because it's easier to manipulate a smaller toothbrush than an adult size.
Well, before we got the diagnosis, his habits, his behavior, I found very frustrating. But once we got the diagnosis of Alzheimer's, I'm like, oh my goodness, he can't help it. And it filled me with compassion. And it just made life so much easier just to know what we were dealing with.
Oh, when I can't breathe.
It's a long journey, but you just have to make the best out of each day and try to find joy in each day.
You breathe for me.